Okay, so I did a lot of this beforehand, but I'm just going to kind of replicate for you what I did exactly. Um, Unfortunately, this particular kind of setup is a little bit more complex than normal, and more sophisticated systems would probably do well at this, but that's because they're more sophisticated, and because they're more sophisticated, they would not be as simple as using Weebly's platform. So basically, to get started, if you wanted to have products on a page but hide the products, the price, not really something you can do within Weebly system, at least not yet, um, because as you'll see, we go to create a product, it's going to ask you for a price. If you leave it as blank, it's going to be blank, but that product is still a product, and if you were to have it on the back end, essentially you just need to have a second product that does have the price there on the front. And the thing about that is you could not get rid of the fact that it has the add to cart. So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So if we wanted to add, let's say, a product to a standard page, you'd of course use the product element. You drag it above here, and you notice something very interesting. So we'll connect it. This will not be able to go away. Even if you zeroed this out, if we made this no dollars, you could not get rid of this. Because when you click on this, the only options that you have would be to get rid of those, in which you will still see this, even though you got rid of everything else, which kind of defeats the purpose. And there's really nothing else there that you could or could not do. There really isn't anything else that you could do to make this right. So the best thing for you to do would be to simply create sections that look like it's going to be a product. Now, I use these here just to give you an idea, and of course the images aren't 100% the same. That was also to go on to show that you can line these up, even though the images are different, using a spacer to line up these, in which you'll put the spacer here. And of course you want to pay attention to this item here, this item here, and this item here, and this item right here. So there's 4 of them. So this one allows you to either move this particular element to a different page, or copy it to a particular page, or this page, or whatever the case may be. This is for click dragging to move it around. This, of course, is to delete the element, and this right here is for resizing. So if we leave that right there, just about line that up. And then, so after you have this, because essentially what you would have normally when you put a product is you'll have an image, and you'll have a description, name. Then, since we're taking away the price, we would just add, for here, all I did was I used the image element, text element, and another text element. So one of these for the top, and then 2 of these, one here, and then one here. You wouldn't want to combine the 2 just so it's a little bit easier to control. And then once I added this here, essentially what you'll want to do is use this right here, which is the login. So it can be whatever your domain name is. This always can be / pound, #, whatever you want to call it, login, all one. So that / is going to be there. So take good note of that. You're going to utilize that for all of the login. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up a page to where you have your members. Well, you're probably going to want to set up your product specs. That would be the next biggest thing. And if you haven't set up a product before, it's really easy, but it looks like you've done so before. But essentially, you're going to have all of these in here. You're going to want to disable the storefront and disable the hidden. That is, unless you want the storefront to, we'll just go ahead and say yeah. That is, unless you want that storefront page to be the same page that everybody else sees. Some people will want one customer to see one price versus another. And this is where everybody would land. They would see this price. Whereas on the front, they would only see what the products that you had on the front page. And I know the pictures don't coincide, but essentially that's what they would be looking at. Now, The big kicker about this is that you need to make sure that this store page, the visibility, is set to particular members, or whoever the members are going to be. They're going to need to be in here so that they can see this page, but you need to set it to this. In particular, you may want to set it to a group just so it's easier, so that when folks do end up registering, you don't have to assign every single person. That can tend to be a little bit of a hassle, but you want to set up a group to do so. So if we delete that member, we add a group. And then you select the page. And that grouping is there. Any of the members who join in would just join this group, and they would be able to see that page, as opposed to anybody else that cannot see those pages. So we'll go to store. We'll set visibility. No members are chosen, but this is here. So it's automatically selected because it's the only one. If you have multiple groups, once again, multiple pages, you could do that. You just have to select the group that you want to be in there. Then from there, the next thing that you would want to do is just, of course, simply publish the page, but double check your products. Make sure that they are either in the storefront. As you can see, this is a storefront item page, or not. It really depends on how you have the system all set up here. I'll get into the next set of questions a little more in depth in the next video, but essentially that's how you're going to set up so that the storefront is hidden inside, so that only specified users can see it. That landing page is where everybody generally sees it, and when they go to it, what we'll do is we'll just do a quick publish. When they go to that particular page, when they click on this, they're going to be prompted to log in. So that storefront page is protected, even though they'll see the rest here. Next thing you probably want to do, even though this is protected, is you can double check if you want. It's really totally up to you. But you can either hide it from visibility entirely, which I didn't, but you can, by hide navigation, and you notice that it's gone up there now. So it's there when they log in. Once again, two different ways to do it. It really depends on your setup and how you're looking for people to interact with your site. I'll go in more in depth into the next set of questions in the next video. Thank you very much.